You look strong on paper. Recruiters are impressed with your resume. You land the interview with a fantastic organization, the organization that you have been researching for a while, with the role that you always wanted, the role of your dreams. Then, once you get into the interview, your words and your presentation do not come out as impactful as you prepared for. Your words don't flow as you prepared for. Your thoughts are not as organized as when you prepared for it. Then, as a result, you can present the value that you bring to the organization as you know you can. You got the education, you got the experience. That's the reason why you got the interview. So we already know it's not lack of either education or experience. However, even though you know your stuff, your value is not presented as effectively as it should come across. Oftentimes, interviews come on a phone interview or Zoom interview, especially with gatekeepers. But once you pass that stage, you go on a face to face interview. This is a prime example. The candidate makes his entrance. He looks confident. The meeting starts on a good note. The hiring manager begins to ask questions. You see? Looks good. Suddenly, something is not clear to him. Something does not connect. Here, they connected well. The interviewer is taking good notes. She has a smile. She's following. Then suddenly, she is confused. Same here. She is trying very hard to understand and follow what you are trying to say, the message you're conveying. Here, in this panel interview, you clearly see they have questions. They are confused. The lady on the left, she jumps in, helping the candidate, trying to make sense of his answers. In here, the candidate looks strong. He is speaking to his background, his experience, what he brings to the table. Everyone is engaged. Suddenly, one of the interviewers pushes back. He inquires further. Something does not make sense. At that moment, the candidate stumbles. If that is you, I will share with you today a few insights that will help you effectively communicate your value, how to overcome this challenge, and then help you persuade the hiring manager in the interview. So let's jump right in. The first one is be yourself. Be professional but yet personable, and make the conversation a conversation of value. Leave behind the let me run you through my resume. Let me tell you a little bit more about my education and my experience. If you already are in an interview, you are already past this stage. That part of being impressive and telling them all about your past accomplishments is done. You did that during the application process. When they review your application and your resume, they are already impressed. They already learn about your experience, they learn about your education in the resume. Now, they want to learn from you the value that you bring based on what you put on your resume. They may ask you a few things about specific jobs that you had in the past, and if so, you have the opportunity to explain that. But your main purpose in the interview is not to run them through the resume and the education that you have, that's already there. Your part now is to bring value to what you already wrote on your resume. They want to know how that information translates and matches up with their values and the values of the person that is sitting across from them. And that is how you can make a big difference between you and the next candidate applying for the same position. So the next step is research. And I'm sure when you put the application in, you did some research about the organization, especially if you don't know much about the organization. But if it is an organization of your dreams, an organization that you have been longing to join for a long time, you probably have done a lot of research. But going into an interview, you have to do an in depth research about the organization that you're interviewing for and the position, you need to understand their values, their mission, their culture, what they really stand for. And if those are values that resonate with yours, if they do, then you need to be able to speak openly in the interview as to why you are a match for the posting. You will be able to demonstrate that you are the contributor that they are looking for. Then you're going to have to step it up a notch. You're going to have to sell yourself. See, this is the part that's a little bit tricky for some candidates. You need to let them know, the company, that you're the right choice. You're the right candidate for this position. You need to sell the value that you bring to the organization. You need to be comfortable doing this. Oftentimes, some candidates do not feel comfortable selling themselves. They don't want to speak on a high note about themselves, and they just miss the opportunity. Some feel this is an arrogant approach. See, this is something that you need to be able to master. If you are in this space, if you feel this way and you don't feel that you're comfortable doing this, let me know in the comments below. If you have overcome this, also put it on the comments below. I would love to hear what practices, what steps you adopted to be successful in this space. Let me know in the comments below. I would love to hear from you. See, when you are selling yourself, you must know that selling yourself is the main task during the interview. It's nobody else's but yours. It's your responsibility. The art of conveying your value, what you bring to the table, what you're good at, the traits that will help the company solve their problems, satisfy the needs that they have in the organization. The traits that you bring that will help them achieve their goals. If you don't sell yourself, if you don't tell them all of these things, somebody else will. So it is your main task during the interview to sell yourself. You see, organizations have specific needs and goals that they need to achieve. And therefore, they need to know and they need to learn from you during the interview. It's not before or after, it's right then and there. It's not in the application process. They need to know from you during the interview, how will you own their responsibility by delegating it to you. And the only way of them knowing is by you effectively articulating your value, the way that you can bring solution to the problem. They are meeting with you in this interview with anticipation to your sales presentation. The hiring manager wants you to reveal your value. They need to know, based on your impressive background, your education, and the experience that you already marketed during the application process. They want to hear that from you. This is showtime. This is the time for you to really explain why they can delegate that responsibility to you and why you can successfully achieve the needs of the organization. The next one is be an active listener on the interview. Be aware, be present on the interview. Listen attentively to the questions asked. Stop your mind from wandering or trying to remember your perfect crafted notes. You already practiced your answers. If they ask you a question that you prepared for, your mind will be at ease and you will automatically organize the answers. Trust me, don't expect to answer questions exactly word by word the way that you wrote them on your notes. Instead, stay focused on the questions that is being asked at the moment and let your response to flow with the knowledge that you bring. By doing so, your answers will come out naturally, they will be genuine versus sounding as they are rehearsed or made up. You need to be very attentive. Being attentive will allow you to overcome any concerns, any doubts, or any objections that may evolve during the interview. This is super important. Many times we can answer a question to the interviewer. Suddenly, there was something that was missed. The interviewer will take notes of that. By being attentive listener, you will pick up on that as well, and you will be able to ask if there are any concerns, or if you fully answer the question that they asked. If you're attentive to the question and the way they respond to your answer, you will be able to pick up on any concerns that evolve during that time. And lastly, close out in a positive note. Be thankful for the opportunity to interview, and don't forget to follow up with a thank you note. Oftentimes, we have some candidates that come by our office and they have a fabulous interview, but they forget to follow up with the interviewer. This is something that you don't want to forget. And you want to do that within 24 hours, if not immediately. As soon as you hit the parking lot, send them a note and a thank you for the opportunity. So there you have it, folks. Hope these insights will help you land your next interview. And as always, I enjoy investing a few minutes with you every week. Don't forget to subscribe, click on the bell so you don't miss the next episode. But for now, please be safe, be blessed, and I will see you next week.